Yes, sir. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Denali, aka Don Squally, and we are back at it with another Forza Horizon 3 build video. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content lately, man. We are counting down to Forza Motorsport 7. Once that video comes out, I'm gonna do my best to make a little bit of cash right off of the bat. And then naturally, we will just progress the build requests into Forza Motorsport 7. Now, I used to do a few comparison videos back in the day, but I don't think I'm going to do that since the basis of this channel now is requests. I think we'll just stick with that theme. But speaking of which, we have a request coming from one person in specific on YouTube, man. Diego Mora wants to see Racer Miata's blue E36 LS1. Now, if you guys don't know who Racer Miata is, Chris Rudnick, needless to say, famous YouTuber, look him up, man. Very dope content coming from him, and he has an LS1 V8 E36 BMW. Now, it looks like we already passed the body style in question. Actually, I don't even think this body style looks like, it doesn't even look like we can buy this here. So we may have to hit up the auction house for that one. So I'm going to just search for, I'm going to start out with a 97 M3. Now I'm pretty sure this is the body style that I am looking for here. Yes, it is. So I'm going to try to find one that's completely stock. Looks like stock paint here. We're just going to go ahead and buy this one up for 30,000 credits and collect that real quick, and probably have to head to the garage to get that. And now that we have our BMW M3 acquired, we are gonna go ahead and jump up into the upgrade section. Now, since Racer Miata Chris Rudnick does not have the Rocket Bunny wide body kit, I don't think we're going to be going this route, but look at how nice that looks, man. I have yet to even see the body kit on this car, the wide body. That looks pretty fresh, man. We might have to do a wide body M3 in the near future. But since we are not going to go with the conversions, we're just going to start out. Since we're not going to go with the wide body conversion, obviously we got to drop ourselves a little V8 in here. Now it looks like we have either a 2.6 liter inline 6, which I believe is out of an R34, or the 6.2 liter V8. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Rudnick has the 5.3 liter. It's actually, I want to say, an LT something, LT1 maybe. So it's not technically an LS, but still a big V8 in the BMW is definitely going to help. So stock all-wheel drive. I think we're going to leave the stock rear-wheel drive drivetrain in this one, and obviously naturally aspirated. Now at this current time, I believe Rudnick just has the M3 front bump. Now at this current time, I'm pretty sure Rudnick just has the M3 front bumper, so we're not going to put any canards on there, any kind of lip kit. As far as the rear end goes, this car is actually wingless, so we're going to go ahead and remove all wings on this thing. I think it's a nice look on this car, nice and clean. Now, as far as the wheels go, this thing is a drift car, but I'm going to put a race tire compound on here. Now, a lot of people flame me for putting race tire compounds on my drift cars, but I mean, I like to have more power and more grip, and then use the power to overcome the grip, as opposed to less power, less grip, and then just be sliding all over the place. So that's my reasoning for it. Now, I believe this thing is rocking a newer style, OEM style wheel. I'm going to try to find something that replicates that wheel, and obviously we're going to have to repaint it, so I'm going to let you guys know when I find something that I like. Now, as far as the wheels go, the spokes on Rudnick's car are actually a little more straight than these ones, but since I can't find a wheel that looks exactly the same, I think I'm going to go ahead and go with these ones. They have a nice lip. I'm going to beef these up to a 19 just for the looks, and I think once we paint these, and obviously quote, wrap the car or plasti dip the car, this thing should be looking pretty good. So obviously, race clutch getting done. Transmission, we're definitely going to upgrade that. Differential for drift purposes, definitely going to take care of that. Brakes, you guys know me, big fan of the brakes. We're going to go ahead and install those. Now, springs and dampers, we definitely need to lower this thing all the way to the ground. Anti-roll bars, both front and back. And since this thing is a race car, I'm going to go ahead, do some weight reduction, and go ahead and take care of that roll cage. So now that all that's out of the way, man, we're going to do a few simple mods here. Intake, exhaust. This thing, from what I understand, not a whole lot done to it. Really, when you're putting a giant motor such as the LT or an LS in a small car like this, you really don't need to do too many modifications in order to make it work. And that is one of the great things about doing that swap and why it is so popular amongst car enthusiasts. Obviously, we're going to be slamming and stancing just a little bit just to make this thing look right when we're getting it sideways. We're going to go ahead and apply that setup. Now comes the designs and paints. So obviously, we're going to take care of that. Now, as far as the body goes, this thing started its life as a red car and then was recently plasti dipped. Now, everybody talks a whole lot of smack on the plasti dip, but to be honest, this car looks pretty nice with the paint job that it has on it. So I'm going to go ahead and try to select a color that matches what Rudnick has on his car. Now, I can't really seem to get the exact color here. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is jump into the Find Design section here and just type in Ricer Miata just to save myself a little bit of time and frustration. And that way we can get something that looks a little more like the original thing as opposed to something that I'm just cobbling together. Now I know the internet dislikes it quite a bit when I get stuff wrong, and you guys let me know all the time when something has. Now, it doesn't look like we have too much going on along the lines of the wrap, so I'm going to go ahead and select this first guy here. And with that said, I think we are just about ready to hit the road with this thing. We've got the white wheels. We have a BMW with a V8. The horn works pretty good. Pretty quiet, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, exhaust as modified as we can get it at this point. We're gonna wait until we get this thing out on the road to see what it will do. Off-road, never really a good judge of a car's true capability. So, this thing's definitely a handful. There's no question about that. We're going to try to take a couple of corners, see if it's a drivable setup, what we have here. You can definitely tell that there's a big old V8 in this thing. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this generation of M3 came with a inline 6 3-liter. So chances are, chances are, with a V8 in this thing, oh man, it's gonna be hauling some serious ass, which it is. Now, I know Rudnick was having a little bit of issues when he first put this motor in. I think it was misfiring issues, but by the looks of it, he's got it all clean, figured out, I should say, and the issues all cleaned up. So that's it's nice to have a reliable drift car. Now, I know the first one that he had, the first motor in this car, I believe this is the one that he got off of Tommy. The first motor that it had in it He blew up, so I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say that he's gonna be a little more easier on this engine, and maybe try to make it last just a touch longer. Ooh, man. This is actually a really decent setup, I am not gonna lie. It's super light, has more than enough power to keep the car going through the turn. Most cars, they don't have enough power, that they turn too much, they rotate too much, you end up going backwards. This one, when you get it sideways, man, get on that gas, it's got enough to whip back around. And we've been actually I was gonna say, we've been having a pretty clean run as far as the traffic goes here. Usually the drive-atars are all up on me. Just some nice canyon driving here. Well, I guess this isn't really canyon, rainforest. I don't think there really is a canyon section in Forza Horizon 3. Mind you, I don't really pay attention to these things. Well, I'll tell you one thing's for sure, ladies and gentlemen. It is fast. Takes a little bit longer to get the stopping distance there, as you can see. This V8 definitely a little bit more than this chassis is able to handle, and even when it's been modified with the brakes and everything else like that. Oh, that drift hat. Oh, taking her off the road for a second. Well, what I think we're going to do, as per usual around this time of the video, is fast travel down to a little bit more of a populated area here and pull off to the side and put an end to this video. You know, as always, if you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to smash that like button. You guys know how we do it on the channel. We're just gonna keep the videos coming until you guys tell me that I suck, and then I'll probably find a new hobby, man. But for the time being, we're gonna keep it moving. So as always, don't forget to let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments section. And I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Means the world to me. And I think that's about it, man. So we're gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh.